Hi, my name is Dr. Scott Young, and today we're going to talk about NESARA, and we're going to be specific upon the questions that I've gotten about small businesses and how it affects them. Coming right up. Now, if you consider a small business is anything less than about 100 people, okay? But really just think about 50 people and less in that small business, okay? Now, don't get off on the exact number here, okay? Big businesses, thousands of people working for them. You know, small businesses can have 50, 100 employees kind of thing. My business has 8 employees working for it with that too. Now, small businesses are affected by the things that go on around them. We're not scared of competition. We actually welcome competition, but we want to have a balanced competition. And some of the sickness in our system is that the big competitors, the elitists, hate the small business competition. So they squelch them in every way, shape, and form. And that's exactly what happened in the COVID timeframe. They were closing them while Walmarts and Amazons were making extra money. And that's the sickness of the system. And we have to see that thing will start flipping. It doesn't mean that big business is bad. It just means that they cannot take the direct control away from the small businesses. And you're going to see a flourishment of these small businesses. Now, there are credit. Now, people ask about this all the time. Will credit still be out there? Of course it will. I mean, you know, businesses don't just have the cash to run out there and pay $30,000 or $150,000 for a big purchase, or they've got big purchases. That's going to happen. We're going to see banks do that. One of the things I do believe will happen, because the IRS is going to die, is that your payments that you're going to have to all your employees, you're not going to have the federal and state taxes, but you're still going to have Social Security and Medicare. So we have to still pay into those systems because we're going to have that ability for the people that need that, okay? And that's really what the system has really meant to be. But the elitists have been stealing from those bank accounts. And I think that we're also going to see debt forgiveness in that way as well when we see the Fed go off. Now, most people want to focus on the business to personal credit. That means like a house loan or a car loan or a credit card or whatever. You know, there are some conversations that happen about mortgages and whether or not those things will go away. I'm not going to get into that one right here, but we're going to see the car loans and all those other kind of things just kind of fade off, okay? And we're going to see that go away. But what about businesses to businesses, okay? Or businesses to banks specifically? And B2B kinds of loans are something that also is part of the debt economy. And it's in the same kind of problem. So when we take the First Amendment, the 10th section, we take the 14th Amendment, the 4th section, and when we look at, there are several little points of this. Debt needs to be paid with gold and silver. And when the person doesn't know all the contracted points, it invalidates the contract, which means that the person that owns it, if I have a piece of equipment for $10,000 and I'm paying a loan on it, it means, excuse me, it means that that has to be forgiven, which means that I will own that, okay? And the bank has to write that off. So that's the debt part. Now, we have people out there who have been behind on their taxes, their IRS taxes. This is one of the more complicated areas, okay? So people ask me all the time, should I be paying my taxes? Now, if you're just an employee, you're paying your taxes because it's deducted from you and then you pay your taxes or you get a refund at the end of the year, okay? I always recommend, you know, to my employees, try to make it where, you know, you either pay $100 or get $100 back. You don't want the government taking that money from you and then getting a big thousands of dollars of return because you're not getting any interest on that. You could have put it in the bank and got a better interest rate, okay? But neither here nor there. But we have people who have small businesses and they're holding out the taxes. Do we, excuse me, do we know if they're going to have to pay taxes in 2021? Well, I paid my taxes in 2021. Do I know what will happen? No, I don't fully know. There's some NESARA paperwork that does say that you will be paying the taxes up until the time frame when NESARA takes over. So the IRS taxes, those income taxes, there's a conversation that says you'll be paying for it. Other people don't believe that. We don't fully know how that happens, okay? So, you know, just to be careful, make sure that you have the money for the taxes, which, by the way, you should have that all the time. You should have your money for sales tax. You should have your money for income taxes. I always have a savings account just for that kind of thing. I don't know why other people don't do that. But it's an easy thing because they struggle paying that amount. Now, I'm not talking about people who have done the correct thing and then had the IRS come back and mess with them. That's a different conversation. But I would always save up the money and have it in an account that you can pay it just easily and correctly with that too. That's just wisdom, okay? I mean, if I knew that I had to make a payment of $500 a month on a particular piece of equipment, why wouldn't I want to have the money in the bank so I can be able to pay that? I mean, that's what I would do in that way too. So just kind of talking about some of those areas, I think that might help you to understand a few things that might be out there. But again, there are some things that we don't always know about. So thanks so much for listening. I appreciate it. And you can leave some comments below.